Hello, welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching Ito Junji Collection, Episode 2. I keep wanting to say Volume 2 when I say that. Even in my head, I was saying Volume 2. So last episode was not what I expected from this series. It was more comedic than anything. About a guy named Suichi. I had to look up his name again in case you're wondering why I remembered it. Basically, he was placing curses on people. His first victim, well, basically it was basically a voodoo doll, but I'm pretty sure they have a different name for it in Japan. That he was putting nails into. Like he was nailing it to a tree through the stomach, which gave the guy he wanted to affect stomach pains, causing him to collapse to the ground, and I guess he had to go to the hospital. But then felt fine not much longer after. The next guy, I believe this guy, he had bury himself in the ground, and he was supposed to stay there until spring. Basically like a frog. Or a toad, I should say. Because he found a toad, which gave him the idea to place this curse on this guy. The next one, he, scared the dude. When he went to use the restroom, he had him basically see a giant orb-weaving spider, and the way he saw it was spraying its webbing at him and covering him in it. But in reality, he was just being covered by toilet paper. But, I mean, just seeing the giant spider would freak me out. I see a spider that's like this big, and I'm already freaking out. So, one larger than I am I'd pass out probably and just die. The spider would just eat me. And the other guy, well, he didn't curse this person. He was a little upset that the guy didn't appreciate the fact that he put a curse on the guy he made see a spider. So instead of actually putting a curse on him, he just tried to scare him by dressing up with stilts and like these long boards to make it look like he had long arms, and then just chased him. Unfortunately for him, the guy who owns the property that he has been doing most of his curses on was getting a little upset that he was messing with the property. Well, whoever was messing with the property. He didn't know it was him specifically. So he was putting down traps, like bear traps. Which, I mean, it's a little extreme. But, I mean, I can't really say anything to the guy. If you don't want people to mess with your property, you're going to do some extreme things. But anyway, yeah, he was laying down bear traps, and he accidentally got one of the wooden legs caught in a bear trap, fell over into the trees, and was hanging upside down. Which ended all of that because dude turned around and saw who it was, and then just went on his way. But then Suichi had to deal with the guy that owns the property, and he was saying he was going to kill him, which I don't know if he actually would have. He probably was just going to scare him enough to keep him from coming back. Because I'm pretty sure if he wanted to, he could have hit him with that axe he threw at him. I think it's actually more of a hatchet. It was small. But Suichi's brother showed up and convinced the guy to let him go. And he just went home after that. I guess him and his family don't really get along. He's kind of a weirdo. His family they're pretty normal. And this guy is just hanging around talking bad about like all of his family, his sister, his brother, mom and dad, and placing curses on people that actually work. I don't know how he's able to do that. They didn't really explain at all how he was able to do that. But, whatever. Anyway, it ended with him going to his room, going to check on the toad he caught, and finding it dead. Basically decomposed already. It was already a skeleton. That was all his fault, though, because he placed it in a metal tin with water that had no holes in it for it to breathe, so it just died. And then afterwards, they did a short little story about this family whose daughter was becoming a doll, or actually became a doll. And I guess everybody else who's had this happen to their daughters, they just burned the doll, put them at rest. But they decided not to, and that just made the daughter just start transforming into something even more creepy. Got more like sharper teeth, reptilian like skin, long twisty neck, creepy eyes. It was a lot creepier in that one than it was in the first part of the show. After I watched that, I looked up the character and saw that there's actually 6 stories, I think, with Shuichi. But I don't know if they're going to do them all with this, or if they just did that one. And maybe if they do another season or something, or if this goes, I don't know how many episodes this is supposed to be. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, it doesn't say how many. I'm going to assume 12. But that would be half of the episodes where they did a Shuichi episode. So I don't know if they'll want to do that. But I'm hoping this episode is a bit more creepy. I don't really do well with horror, but if I'm going to watch a show dealing with horror, I want to watch something a bit scary and creepy. As long as I don't freak myself out too much, But I don't know what they're going to do with this one. I don't know what kind of stories of his they're going to bring in. So let's just get into this episode and see what they're going to try to scare us with this time. Or at least, make us laugh with. I don't know. Depends on if they do another Shuichi or not. But the video is going to be located over here. And the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. I think I got it loud enough. Yeah, that should be fine. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1...